Hey everyone, so a brand new beta and preview has just released for Minecraft Bedrock Edition. This is the version 1.21.50.28, mostly focusing on bug fixes, but we did get some really cool Java parity features introduced. Now, with that being said, it looks like the developers are now focusing more on bug fixes. We are around about 4 to 6 weeks out from this update being released. We have no indications if any more features are going to be introduced. Now, I get a lot of questions all the time in my videos saying, hey Echo, why are you called Skin Standard Cust? Now, I decided to do a little bit of research, and this is actually an ongoing bug. So here is the bug report. It was reported way over 1 year ago, has affected all of these versions. I was just curious if anybody else had the same problem as me. I just couldn't fix it. And yeah, either people would be called Steve, Custom, Skin Standard Cust. Nothing would work. It does seem to be only a beta/preview issue though. Also, really appreciating this marketplace icon. This is something that they've been doing in Minecraft for quite some time now. I guess it's just to be eye-catching so people click on it. Starting with the features and bug fixes, getting into the Pale Garden, the sky now appears darker at the horizon during rain, while in a Pale Garden biome. We have a bug report. According to this report, it's labeled as a vanilla parity. Here is what it's like during rain on Java Edition, and this is what it was like on Bedrock Edition. So apparently, it's going to be slightly darker for Bedrock players. If we just stand in a normal dark oak forest and we slightly move across to the Pale Oak Garden, the Pale Biome, you can see here it is a little bit darker now. Changes with blocks. They said trial spawners with a mob set by a spawn egg no longer revert to an empty state when their cooldown ends. Azalea, flowering azalea, mangrove, cherry, and pale oak leaves no longer display black pixels from a distance. We have a bug report. Opaque mangrove leaves have an inconsistent texture. This was reported back in 2022. Affected all of these versions. So you can see here, these are kind of like solid blocks. This one has a black inside, and they're basically saying that this shouldn't happen anymore. So apparently over a distance, that's when players were seeing it. I also think that this is going to be tied into what I'm about to show you. Mangrove leaves now have a dedicated texture for when fancy leaves are disabled. We have a bug report. Mangrove leaves don't use separate opaque textures. Once again, back in 2023, this was reported. Now you can see here, these all look very different down here. Here are the normal ones, and this one over here is actually blacked out. These are opaque, that one isn't. So if we go into my settings now, scroll down to video and scroll down to fancy leaves, you will see here this is technically like a solid block now. So finally, after all of this time, they fixed it. The orientation of the pale oak leaves texture is no longer randomized for each block. Moss blocks now have a quieter step and land sound. Let's listen to this. Some users reported that it was too loud, so they reduced it. Decorated pots no longer activate observers on world load. Skulk sensors now detect Eyeblossoms opening and closing. So if we go ahead and place this down over here like this, and place this down, when one closes, it will actually send the signal to a skulk block, as you can see right there. So it will just indicate that they've closed. They have fixed all skull block variants being turned into skeleton_skull when opening a world template version locked below 1.21.40 or structures. Please note, this fix will not apply to already overwritten chunks. Textures for bricks, nether bricks, red nether bricks, resin bricks, and related blocks have been updated to be horizontally aligned with all other brick blocks. We have a bug report. So basically with this one, people have been saying that they're not technically lined up correctly. And apparently the developers went ahead and fixed it this week. Maybe it's just me, but the placement of the red nether next to the resin don't seem to line up correctly. Am I going crazy? Are these two not meant to be lined up right here? I mean, this lines correctly with this now, I guess. These obviously line up perfectly fine. I would also consider these to be slightly out. I mean, you could say this and this line up correctly. But to me, this just seems, I don't know, a little bit wrong. Closed Eyeblossoms no longer poison bees. So there's more changes to do with this a little bit later on. But if these are closed, they don't typically have any form of interest in them, actually. But also, the poison effect from the open Eyeblossoms now also damages bees while they are within the block, rather than only upon exiting. Reduce the duration of the poison effect applied by the open Eyeblossoms. Adjusted the frequency of ambient sounds emitted by Eyeblossoms, creaking hearts, and pale hanging moss to better align with Java. So if we go ahead and grab ourselves some of these, we're going to make these closed here. If you just listen to this, open. If you listen to the sounds, apparently they've been adjusted. I'll be honest with you, I feel like these ones are much quieter. This one's much louder. And this one, I don't really notice too much of a difference. Moving on to the copper grate, liquids such as still water and still lava no longer tessellate incorrectly when copper grates are over them. So there was a report last week or the week before that if you had still lava and you looked over these, apparently it would kind of look like this. So you would worry about falling to your death. This has now been resolved. Pretty good change. The creaking hearts. Creaking hearts drop more resin clumps when destroyed with fortune. This is a community request. So if we go ahead and break one of these, this has produced 3 of these. If we do it again with fortune 3, you can see here it produced 4. Let's do it one more time and see if we get any more than this. On this occasion, we only get 3. So it's not a guarantee, just the way fortune regularly works. Even more changes with the Eyeblossom. Eyeblossoms will now open and close even when snow logged. So if we grab the open one, place this down, and just leave this there, and we'll do another one, but we'll do this one like all the way. I'll wait for these to change and show you. Well, to be honest, you can actually see that they've closed on their own. So snow won't make any difference. Pale moss carpet. The sides of pale moss carpets are now shaded correctly. Didn't know there was something wrong with these, but I think it was to do with these on certain blocks. Moving on to cracks are now properly applied to the sides of moss carpets when mined. That's them on the side going up. And then we have features. Let's read the change log. So inside of the change log, it says the following feature types are now unable to place internally only features. So that being aggregate underscore feature, snap to the surface feature. Same with the threshold and weighted random feature. I'm guessing it's more technical than anything else. Moving on to gameplay changes, fixed clients sometimes not matching the server's rain/snow weather state. Items, the slate is no longer present in the creative inventory outside of Education Edition. So many players were saying that this is a new feature. It's just a feature that's spilled from Education Edition into the core version. And yeah, tons of people made videos on this. Slate appears in creative inventory when education toggle is turned off. Everybody was freaking out about this. They thought it was some kind of new sign and some new feature. The developers have confirmed it's not. The effect duration of Suspicious Stew has been adjusted to be the same across all versions. No idea what the change is, though. Suspicious Stew from Open Eyeblossoms now grants the same blindness duration as Suspicious Stew from the Azure Bluette. Resin Bricks. Okay, change. This now requires resin bricks instead of using resin clumps. So previously would be the clump that goes inside of here, not the brick. I kind of don't like this. I feel like the resin felt more like, I don't know, a glue or like something that you would apply. So I'm not sure about this. Do you guys think it should be the bricks? Or do you actually think it should be the clumps? Although this is one of my favorite types of trims. Moving on to mob changes. The creaking will no longer sometimes phase through blocks if you are looking at it far away. Ravages now destroy all types of leaf blocks rather than a limited selection. We have a bug report. Even I know that this has been an ongoing issue for a very long time, reported in all of these versions. Basically, it doesn't work with these. We do have a basic example here. As you can see, it didn't break any of them, but it should. I'm going to do a test here, give myself a lot of strength and kind of just stand through here. Apparently now he's meant to be able to break all of these, but he's not doing it. If I go to the / game mode creative, he's not interested in breaking these though. He did break one of them, I believe. Whatever I had here, he did manage to break, which I think was the leaves. But apparently he's also meant to break all of these as well. But, I mean, you can clearly see he's not breaking them at all. Unless they needed to be on some kind of farmland. I've got them on farmland this time. No, he's still not breaking these. I'm not sure if I'm doing something wrong or it's just not working. Feeding bees open Eyeblossoms now applies the poison effect. Now, also, feeding bees wither roses now applies the wither effect. So these are a no-no for bees. If you feed it to them, it's going to get poisoned and it's not going to like you. I think it needs to be an open one. So if we type in open and then we do it again, yeah, they don't like them. It's going to poison them. Magma cubes. Magma cube model parts UVs no longer overlap each other. Realms fixed crash on several platforms when navigating back to realm stories after inviting a player on the manage members screen. Sounds. Fall and step sound events for sponge, wet sponge, creaking heart, resin bricks, and resin blocks changed to player. Adds jump. So they added jump and land sound events to the creaking hearts, resin bricks, and resin blocks. Creaking hearts, breaking and placing sounds are now quieter. That might have explained what they did in terms of parity, even though they didn't write it before. Added more breaking sounds for resin. User interface. Let's read the change log. Once again, guys, just quality of life changes that don't necessarily need to be on signs. If you're interested in the changes, I will leave the links down below. Something I am interested in, though, is the vanilla parity. Managing to kill a wolf bee or silverfish in one hit no longer angers nearby mobs of the same type. So I'm going to go ahead and go / game mode S here. I am going to make myself really strong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kill that in one. These are on angry. I always thought that this was a thing. Always thought it was a thing. So let's go to / give at P and we do milk now. Try the polar opposite here. You can see they don't like me. Same with the bee. Hold on. There's quite a few bees down here. Hit a bee. They don't like me. They also went ahead and added the exact same feature, but also for zombified piglins. So if we place these down, manage to one-hit this, he doesn't care. I always thought that this was already a feature on Minecraft Bedrock Edition. It actually wasn't. Moving on to blocks. Head blocks can now be placed on the sides of blocks, even if they lack a supporting block below them. So like this going on here, better example would be like this. We also have weapons. The game no longer crashes if a mob attacks with an item that breaks during the attack. And we also have the technical updates. Let's read the change log. So once again, if you're interested in the technical side of Minecraft, I'll leave a link down below. We did get a bunch of editor tool changes. In fact, we got a lot of them this week. So if you enjoy that, I think you'll enjoy checking it out this week, and so much more. The link's down below. Now, Smokey Stacks did say possibility of a new Minecraft Live event. They've started to implement this into the game coding. This was available before this year's Minecraft Live, and then it was removed, and we didn't get any kind of event. People have said it might be linked to the February Minecraft Live show. And that is everything I have for you in today's video. Like I said, we are more than likely going to be getting more bug fixes rather than features. They might surprise us with 1 or 2 more things, but I really can't see that happening. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you made it this far, say, hey, Echo, that's a nice doggo. I'll see you next time.